Welcome to another offline video, where we move to France for the 2025 Cobble Frogs tournament. On the left we have Yoel playing Bloody Mary, an aggressive move tree fighter from the Battle of Legends Volume 2 set, who plays around with third actions. He is playing against Kjet on Ciri, a scaling powerhouse from the Witcher Steel and Silver set, who gets stronger as more sources enter play. This is game 1 of a best of 3 semifinals in the event. For those unaware, Cobble Frogs is the biggest annual real-life Unmatched tournament, where many of the best global players are present. This includes Kjet and Yoel, as winners of SOL and Spring Showdown respectively, among other accomplishments. Ciri starts in double maneuvers. Bloody Mary maneuvers in and attacks with a Bloody Requiem. This is Bloody Mary's double attack, which Ciri defends with a push to the brink. 2 push to the brinks actually, as Ciri defends with another copy. This accelerates Ciri's source count, while also meaning she gets full value out of push to the brink, which is usually the source card Ciri wants to throw in the discard pile first. Ciri takes no damage, but also doesn't activate the ping effect. Most of the time, attacking first action when you're going second is ill-advised, since the opponent naturally has a hand advantage afterwards. But BM is okay with low hand count. Bloody Mary attacks with a jump scare into a parry. It's one of BM's more important damaging cards to land, so it getting cancelled here sucks. I don't know how this matchup usually goes, but theoretically it should be unfavored for BM. And when you're unfavored, might as well full send. Ciri attacks first action, using a push to the brink into an infinity mirror. The source count is triggered and the 2 source effect doesn't care about the range. Because of that, there's no point in using Infinity Mirror's effect to push Ciri away, especially when Bloody Mary is probably planning on just a maneuver attacking next turn anyway. BM decides to just leave Ciri be and play continues. Bloody Mary takes the 1 damage from the ping effect, and Ciri uses her second maneuver to step away from BM and bring their fighters closer together. We do see Bloody Mary maneuvering here, possibly running out of good cards to attack with at this point. She plays Stolen Memories to take a look at Ciri's hand, choose a card, then force Ciri to either discard that card or take damage equal to its boost value. She does see a parry, alongside a whole lot of other potential defenses, but decides to select Lady of Space and Time. On one hand, she can choose a parry, but Ciri will probably just take the 1 damage. And Lady of Space and Time could be any card, it could even be a parry. Importantly, Lady has a boost value of 2, which Ciri takes in damage. While Ciri definitely wins this game in fatigue, you generally don't want to completely leave your opponent be. If you do, you give your opponent full agency on what they want to do. Ciri maneuver boosts with a Searching Strike, sending the Unicorn in. Unicorn attacks with a Bane of Dane L, which Bloody Mary defends with a Trick of the Light. This lets Bloody Mary move closer to Ciri and keep up the offensive barrage, but it does mean she takes 2 from the combat damage and 1 from the after combat. Bloody Mary has 3 cards, meaning 3 actions. She first takes a simple maneuver in, then attacks with an out of the mirror into a blink. BM would have loved to land Bloody Requiem to this earlier, since it's Ciri's highest printed value defense. BM does get to randomly discard and pulls out a Zerradias from Ciri's hand, which is pretty important since it's 1 less defense. But still, Ciri's defensive package is so solid that BM is still going to need to do a bit more. Blink takes Ciri further away, meaning BM just maneuvers off upwards for her third action. Then for her turn, Kjet sends Ciri off to the other side of the board and has a Unicorn just stand by the center of the board. Both are now ready to chase BM, with Unicorn blocking the shortest path to reach Ciri. Bloody Mary moves out of maneuver range from the Unicorn and plays her second Stolen Memories. She sees double as she finds both Lady of Space and Time in Ciri's hand. BM chooses Lady, and I don't think it's much of a decision as Ciri decides to just take 2 damage. Both damage dealt to Ciri so far have actually been both from Stolen Memories. This does mean the damage Ciri has taken so far is damage she was okay with taking. Ciri double maneuvers forward, positioning at the center and sending Unicorn towards BM. Then, BM also double maneuvers and sends herself towards Ciri. I don't think BM's kit allows her to knock out Unicorn and still have enough damage to take out Ciri. All damage dealt must be dealt efficiently. Ciri takes up the task and steps forward. It's better to use the source cards than to just boost them away. She attacks with Lion Cub of Sintra into an evade. Lion Cub is only at 4 source, so it is still only a 4 value attack. However, Ciri is now at 5 source after this, meaning next time it's going to be a 7. Bloody Mary hits back, just trying to run Ciri out of defenses. She attacks with what turns out to be an offensive feint against a Zerradias. The offensive feint is good here since it stops a discard, a potential escape from Blink, or a potential recursion from Lady. BM attacks again, this time landing Broken Glass into Lady of Space and Time. Bloody Mary matches the value, turning it into a 2. This means that Ciri ends up taking 2 damage and BM draws 1 card. Then, Ciri returns Yoel. Since the source card was recurred, this means that the source value will still be 6 after this combat. Ciri deliberates her options. Instead of running away, Ciri readies an attack card and waits for BM to respond. At 6 source, Ciri isn't unfaintable just yet, but most of her attacks are upgraded to their max power. Lion Cub is now also a 7, which BM is deathly afraid of landing Mirror Image into. Ciri does end up attacking with Lion Cub of Sintra into an evade. At least BM didn't defend with Mirror Image, but that's still 4 massive damage. BM does end up drawing a card, which means she can keep up pressure on Ciri. Ciri has other thoughts and backs off, while nudging Unicorn just a bit closer. If BM goes to attack Ciri, she'll be in a single maneuver range of the Unicorn. But is it really any question? If it isn't clear enough yet, BM only really has one way to go, and that's forward. BM maneuvers towards Ciri, then plays her closer than she appears. The spookiest effects of BM's kit trigger a third action, though it does make a parry safe to play. Afterwards, she attacks with Ghostly Touch into a parry. BM does know that the parry has been in Ciri's hand for a long time, but it's just one of those situations where you have to do it anyways. That parry isn't going anywhere anytime soon. At least this third action quote-unquote forces parry to be used. In the meantime, Ciri plays Unicorn Ally and heals too. While active, BM's offensive barrage is basically completely shut down. In my opinion, Unicorn Ally is part of what makes Ciri overpowered. Theoretically, she should be weak to early aggression, but Unicorn Ally negates that completely. Bloody Mary approaches Unicorn and attacks with a fade, which Unicorn takes. Ciri and Unicorn look at each other and shrug. It is literally just 2 damage. BM probably hoped that Ciri would parry. Ihuarakwak sits back with a Bane of Day in L against a Mirror Image. This is the best attack left that Mirror Image is good against, so it's a good interaction for Mary. Unicorn can only attack with 2 cards anyway, so either one would have been fully blocked. BM does still take 1 damage from the after combat, but she was going to take 1 no matter what she defended with. Not including Infinity Mirror, which she probably wants to attack with at this point. We do see Unicorn Ally expire here, though at this point I think Ciri is probably feeling good defense-wise. BM maneuvers next to Ciri. Then, she plays her closer than she appears, threatening a massive third action attack. BM plays her attack face down, and Ciri thinks about what to defend with. We still have a vague idea of what's in Ciri's hand, since Ciri recurred Zerradias last time. She either defends with that or a parry if she has it. The attack turns out to be out of the mirror into a Zerradias. Both fighters do a random discard on each other, with Ciri first ripping out a jump scare, then BM ripping out the Child of the Elder Blood. With this being the last closer than she appears, I'm not sure if using it on a draw 1 was the best option. It does effectively negate Zerradias' discard, though of course losing jump scare really hurts, and it lets BM keep up offensive pressure. It's also possible that BM was anticipating getting cancelled, and so didn't want to use her 7s, or didn't have a better third action attack. In a sense, if BM was expecting a parry, and it did get parried, it wouldn't have mattered what a third action attack would be. And it's not like BM gets nothing, drawing a card is still good. On the other side, if that was a 7, then Ciri would be down 3 right now. It's not much, but it's the best BM can hope for. In the meantime, Ciri maneuvers and hides behind Unicorn. If BM wants to reach Ciri, she needs a boost too. And I'm pretty sure BM wants to reach Ciri. The late game does not favor her at all. BM maneuvers towards Ciri, then uses a boost too. BM attacks with Broken Glass into Lady of Space and Time. We fast forward a bit to Ciri's decision, and she decides to recur Child of the Elder Blood. This still keeps the source at 9. BM does match Lady, and deals 2 damage to Ciri. But at this point, it just doesn't matter anymore. Ciri takes the time to make sure that the next sequence is perfectly executed. But you can see the runtime left on the video and guess that she gets it right. I'll take this opportunity to thank the Cobble Frogs crew who graciously offered me the footage of this video. Thank you Dexter Duff, Domingo, and Zerradias for the footage, and thanks to George Carlin on Discord for enthusiastically lending his assistance to me. I'm planning on making videos for all of the bracket games of CNF, so this should just be the start. All of these videos were of course first streamed on Darkblade's Twitch, link in the description. And of course, thanks to Yoel and Kjet for allowing this game to be recorded and streamed. Anyway, let's wrap up this game. Ciri plays Child of the Elder Blood at 9 source to deal 3 damage to BM, knocking her down to 3 HP. Ciri plays an attack, and BM can guess what it is. She attacks with Lion Cub of Sintra into a 4 value Broken Glass, dealing the last 3 damage to finish the game. If you'd like to support the channel, you can check out my Buy Me a Coffee or my Pixel by ePlayment pages down below. And if you like the content you just saw, make sure to check out the other videos on my channel. Like and subscribe, and see you next time.